Hi and welcome to another video update from the Fire Brigades Union, once again here in the Union's head office in Kingston, London. We're here to discuss a circular that's just been issued by the FBU, where the Union says that members of the FBU are facing one of the biggest threats to their safety in decades. So to discuss that, we're here joined by Riccardo Latorre, who's the Union's Health and Safety Officer. Now Riccardo, we'll go into actual detail of the circular in a moment, but this is regarding an issue that we thought we dealt with back in 2022, I believe, and it's regarding firefighters being told not to don breathing apparatus beyond what we call the bridgehead. An extraordinary thing to ask firefighters. And just to put context to that, when I first joined the fire service in the 1990s, early 1990s, we didn't wear breathing apparatus at car fires, a folly that's since been corrected, thankfully, and decon that's brought to light. But we always wore breathing apparatus beyond the bridgehead. What has changed? Why is this policy getting pushed through?
The firefighters, our members, the professionals within this trade, will rightly be furious that we're still even having to have this discussion, Tam. You're right, we have beat this before. It was actually as far back as in 2021 when we first saw this off in London Fire Brigade. Luckily, with the sensible chief fire officers, we've been able to see this away at the negotiating table by providing the evidence of just how unsafe and unprofessional this is. But even after winning in London at the independent safety panel, where an ex-senior HSE inspector ruled it to be deliberately lowering the safety of firefighters to lower than that which is possible to achieve, the NFCC and some of their most aggressive members seem intent on pushing on with trying to get the BA masks off our firefighters' faces in high-rise fires. So we went to the courts. It was all that was left to us. The judge said that they wouldn't hear it because it was in fact the remit of the HSE, who are the government agency with the responsibility to look at safety issues such as these. So we provided evidence, independent reports, expert reports, the safety panel hearings, previous incidents where we've lost firefighters in the sort of scenario they're trying to create here, and we sent that to the HSE over a year ago, on the 27th of May 2022 to be precise. Now, sadly, the HSE chose to not act on that for over a year, and they ignored many requests from us when we were writing to them, citing what a safety critical matter this is for our members, and we demanded a response. We found out recently, more than a year after submitting the initial complaint, that our professional concerns aren't even going to be investigated by the HSE. They looked at one small part concerning risk assessment process. Interestingly, a part we didn't raise within our complaint. We raised several breaches of health and safety law, several professional concerns, health and safety concerns around procedures. Let's not forget that they exist because our members have got injured and worse, lost their lives at incidents when they weren't being applied appropriately. That's how important these are to the health and safety and lives of firefighters. So now we have to start discussing what our next steps are to see off this incredibly unsafe and unprofessional procedure.
No, and I can sense the anger, and you're right to be angry about this. But just to be clear, we fought it off in London Fire Brigade. An independent panel said it was unsafe. Other brigades then still tried to introduce it. We went to the courts. The court said the HSE should rule on this. The HSE, after a long period of time, have now responded and said it's not, and I'll get this right, it's not within their remit, so we're getting bounced from pillar to post. So what are we asking members to do then? Are we taking this now direct to firefighters?
So in the first instance, we will be responding to the HSE. We were in discussion with our legal advisors because we wholeheartedly disagree with their statement that this is not within their remit. In fact, we think they are entirely the appropriate organisation, as is set out in health and safety law, to be dealing with safety issues such as this. Because again, this isn't a game to our members. These are the procedures that have protected the lives and health of firefighters for decades. It is a completely misguided procedure. It's been done as a reaction to the building safety crisis. Now we accept, it may be the cheaper option to remove safety from firefighters rather than remedy the issues that exist within the built environment, but it is unprofessional and it doesn't work. Removing safety from firefighters does not make buildings safer. So we're now going to take this directly to members, as well as all of those other legal avenues that we're going to be pursuing. And our advice to our members is clear. as professional firefighters, as professional BA wearers, you should not put yourself in danger above the bridgehead without activated breathing apparatus.
Absolutely. Now, just to get that correct, that wording absolutely clear, Ricardo, because I know we've got to be working within clear limits. It says in the circular the FBU position is clear. As a professional firefighter and BA wearer, you should not put yourself in a position of danger above the bridgehead with non-activated breathing apparatus. That's what the union's position is, and that's what we're advising members, yes?
Absolutely, Tim.
Thanks very much, Ricardo Latorre. We're now going to be joined by FBU General Secretary Matt Rack. Now, Matt, I have to say, hearing these things, it is pretty extraordinary. And it does. Ricardo was angry, and I think it'll make everyone angry. The first rule of the union is to keep members safe, and yet we're now seeing senior managers putting forward a policy that by any stretch of the imagination will put people's lives at risk. What would be your message to people in the National Fire Chiefs Council and elsewhere that are pushing this policy forward?
My message to anyone pushing this forward is we will hold you to account. Because I make a prediction, Tam, if anything goes wrong, and it will eventually go wrong, the people who are pushing this and the organisations and the employers who are pushing this will run a mile, because this is a cowardly decision, it's a cowardly policy, and when people are ill or injured or, God forbid, die as a result of this, then those very same people will claim that it was nothing to do with them. And we've seen it before, and we will see it again. And I'm saying here and now that this union will pursue those individuals who've advocated this dangerous, irresponsible policy, and we will hold them to account and hold them responsible for any failures that result from it.
Now, we've issued some very clear guidance to members, and I suppose the members out there watching this, they'll want to know, we've got their back in this, yeah? Members follow this guidance, the union's got their back.
Absolutely, we're still discussing exactly what we do. There's various options, legal, industrial, political options. We're considering all of those. Certainly what we're not going to do is let this lie simply because a few chiefs think they're going to now implement it. The majority are not. The majority of sensible fire service employers will not pursue this policy. And why would you pursue this policy when, as far as we're concerned, there are safer alternatives available? That's why it's totally irresponsible what they're doing. We will now consider all options and will issue guidance to members in due course.
Matt, thanks very much indeed. Now look, there's more information on this very important safety critical issue on our website. That's www.fbu.org.uk, where a special page on this issue has been set up under the campaigning section, so please go to that for further advice. Thanks so much for joining us once again, and Matt, Ricardo, thanks very much.
Thanks, Sam. Thanks, everyone.